So very good evening to one and all present. It's such a pleasure to connect you all for yet another exciting talk series on entrepreneurship. We named it as IRE, which stands for Innovation, Research, and Entrepreneurship. I always say this, being a business school, it's our moral responsibility to nurture tomorrow's entrepreneur. And GIBS has taken this very seriously. And you are also in a country which has a fantastic ecosystem. I'm talking about India's ecosystem in the entrepreneurship in the last 1 decade has been fantabulous. So considering that, IRE has no doubt turned out to be a flagship program of GIBS, and we were able to nurture a lot many entrepreneurs from day one. And today we are so happy and proud to see them opening their ventures and being very successful in the things that they do. Under the IRE, we have series of events that we do. We conduct regular in-house sessions. We conduct workshops. We conduct conferences. We also conduct IRE virtual talk series like this. And we are having an expert like Dr. Khulood today, who will come and share the perspectives from the global background. We're just trying to be true to our name. GIBS, G stands for global. So we're trying to integrate everything that we do in the global domain. And so far, we've been greatly successful in having top-notch profiles from different parts of the globe who came and addressed our students, on the various topics that has been a top-notch today. So for today, I'm so very happy to welcome Dr. Khulood today. She is the professor of entrepreneurship and also the incubation manager at University, Dubai. Honestly, in the last 6-7 months, I've been trying to reach my connects from Dubai, from UAE, but we all understand the situation in the last few months has been quite challenging for the UAE for the obvious geopolitical tensions which is going on around. And I'm sure currently it's getting back to track. I hope everything is safe and normal in Dubai right now. And I'm so glad that my invitation was accepted by Dr. Khulood. It very well aligns. I was having an interaction with Dr. Khulood a week ago, and the theme, the objective very well aligns with her profile. And when I requested her, she didn't even hesitate to say yes. And today it's all out here. And I'm so happy that you joined, Dr. Khulood. On behalf of my audiences from the GIBS, there are audience outside GIBS as well, my faculties and the management team, I'm extending my heartfelt welcome to you, Dr. Khulood. I would love to have an opening remarks from you before I kickstart.
Okay. Salam alaikum and good afternoon to Professor Guru and to the audience of GIBS, Global Institute of Business Studies. I am very much honored to be with you today and to present the UAE, the universities, and the Canadian University, Dubai, CUD, in terms of entrepreneurship and innovation. I would always say that the UAE and Dubai is very resilient by itself, and it came back to normal after the current situation. And if you can see from social media, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum came up with Dubai It, which is the philosophy of how Dubai actually works and achieves and goes very resilient. And we, as Dubai and the UAE, very much nurture and support entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is the core of Dubai and the UAE. And the vision of the UAE Vision 2031 and Dubai's Vision 33 agenda, of course. And of course, in CUD by itself, entrepreneurship is at the core of CUD's learning. And we believe in long life learning for our students, especially being entrepreneurs and being creators of the jobs in the future. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I'm very much honored to be in today's session with you.
and I should. India enjoys a fantastic relationship, and I know about of entrepreneurial revolution that's going on in Dubai. It's indeed fantastic. The vision that your he has, I'm sure it will be achieved for the kind of support that you have from the government. I'm sure it's going to be fulfilled. Well, for the audience today, we have discussion in a format of Q&A. It's like a panel discussion. I have a set of questions prepared for Khulood. She'll be taking one-on-one. And students and the audiences, if you have any questions, you can place them in the chat box, those questions at the end individually with Dr. Khulood. But otherwise, the today's it very nicely. We have called it as Dream Design, the entrepreneurial journey. So basically, I will be talking about the journey, the entrepreneurial journey from the scratch, from the ideation to the, to the product development till the end. Define certain set of questions, which I'll be taking it to Dr. Khulood. At the end, as I said, I would take individual questions from the students as well. So yes, as I said, this is coined as Dream, Design, and Deliver. With the dream. No. So yes, Dr. Khulood, every successful venture begins with an idea, no doubt about it. So in your experience, the best entrepreneurial idea originate from?
Okay. Thank you for the question, Professor Goyo. It's very exciting to answer such a question. Of course, before answering the question, I would also want to add that before me tapping onto the academic life and lecturing and coaching students on entrepreneurship, I've been by myself in the industry of the UAE and Dubai. I've been 20 years in the industry life in many industries, real estate, and other industries in the government, semi-government, and private sector of Dubai. So I come from industry now, and I connect back into the academic life. Having this question of where every successful venture begins with an idea, and in your experience, where does the best entrepreneurial ideas originate from? I would say definitely from the problem that exists. For example, I would say entrepreneurship doesn't start with a technology, like, for example, Steve Jobs himself. He did not start with a technology. He started with the problem that customers are facing and how can he create the best customer experience for the customers that are using products of Steve Jobs and Mac by itself. So every entrepreneur should start with the problem and think, what problem am I solving? How can I make the society's problems better? By that, entrepreneurship would start. For example, when you think of something that you are really passionate about, you're really good about it, you're so good in it, and you can work it very well, but maybe society will not pay you for it. So you need to always think, what problem am I solving for society? In fact, there is a Japanese concept called ikigai, and I always give it to my students. Think of your passion, think of what you're good at, and think of something that society will pay you for. And there starts the entrepreneurial idea.
Absolutely. I mean, as you rightly coined, the idea generation begins with identifying the challenges and the opportunities. And over the last few years, world has given us enough problems and challenges, since the COVID times. And you're right, not just in Dubai, not just in India, there are a lot many new ideas that came into this world because of these challenges and problems. So, what advice you would give to those students who are still in search of that right idea?
Okay, another nice question. So stop, I would say, stop searching for the right idea. Go into action. Speak to speak to people, connect with the community, and travel and see what's happening in the industry. And encourage yourself to take action. Don't just wait for the perfect and right idea. Think of what problems are existing and how can we make it better. And from there, you can start your action into starting your own startup and the idea by itself.
That's fantastic. Now, this is a very important question, I feel. Let's say a student has come out with an idea and he thinks that, it's the best idea of the business. Now, how does he validate idea can be successful one, or this is the idea that exactly the market needs? Because he'll be investing his time, he'll be investing his money. So how will he validate that, this idea can be accepted well?
Yes, validation of the idea is very important. Um, you need to validate your idea before going into real investments of that idea. And to validate your idea, you can also, of course, speak to people, do market research, interviews, and prototyping.
Just one second.
Uh,
I believe there was a technical glitch.
Yeah, I was actually saying
Mhm.
that validation of an idea is very important and crucial. To get the validation of that idea, interviews, surveys, prototyping, and testing of the idea are very crucial to make before you go into real investment for that startup. So, with when you validate it through speaking to people and your inner circle maybe at the beginning, and then expanding to a more wider circle, and give also surveys to people, and then keep on testing and prototyping. For example, with my own experience as a professor and incubator manager, I do have students that come to me and ask me about, Professor, can I show you the prototype that I have started with? Can you give me advice so that he or she is treating me not only as a mentor, but as a direct customer who is checking that prototype, and how can we validate it more? And you can test it with actual people and see whether it will work or not, and then go for real investment.
Absolutely. Bang on point. Now, until you kickstart this, it's like we say in, right? You can't test the water without getting into the pool.
Yes, definitely.
Right? So you have to get into that. Was the message was very clear from your side. But what, according to you, I'm sure as an incubation manager, you have interacted a lot many times with the students, aspiring entrepreneurs. What do you think the first time entrepreneurs, the kind of mistakes that they make? What are those mistakes? Technically, I don't call them as a mistakes. It's good to do a mistakes in the initial stage, but what wrong they do when they get into this journey for the very first time, especially during the idea generation topic.
I think the mistakes that many young entrepreneurs would go into is maybe the cash flows, the operational systems,
Mhm.
and being very busy with the operational system and not having it right from the beginning, um, focusing more on, or maybe even thinking that they have the right solution and thinking ahead of the customer, but they don't see that that's what actually the customer needs. So you're putting assumptions here, and you're not putting the reality of what the customer actually needs. So focus a lot on the value you are giving to the customer. Is it truly what the customer requires, and does it give that customer value and purpose? And then go forward ahead with a more creating product and services. And also your cash flows, have them right from the beginning and build the system right from the beginning.
Absolutely. I mean, that's obviously right when you said about financial planning and other things. That's a common mistakes that they do because of obvious reasons as well. As I said, we have called this as dream, design, deliver, and elevate. I had a few questions from the dream point of view. Now I'm going to the second one, which is more important, which is the design aspect of it. Once the idea comes into the reality, then the execution has its own challenges. Sure, Dr. Khulood, once the idea is identified, what do you think the essential steps the entrepreneurship take to transform this idea into a viable business model?
Okay, this is something I really enjoy, which is actually you're now moving more into action and understanding your customer. When you understand your customer, you're actually modeling your business towards that specific customer segment. So understand your customer segment more, prioritize efficiencies, and use models such as the value proposition canvas, the lean canvas, the business model canvas, to design it more and to tailor more to your customers' requirements. I'm not getting your voice, Professor Guru.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Perfectly highlighted, but it doesn't look as simple as we mentioned about it because it has its own practical challenges. Uh, Idea generation is not a problem. The bringing it to a reality is the toughest challenge, I
Yes.
feel, according to me. You may agree to it. Well, these days, a lot of people are talking about design thinking, right? And I've coined this question linking into entrepreneurship. How important is design thinking in entrepreneurship? And how can founders apply it effectively in their startups? I believe this is useful. I would definitely love to know your views on the same.
So as I just mentioned, design thinking is putting the customer at the center of innovation. It's when you think of your customer and go through the customer journey, whether you are providing a product or a service, think of the customer at the center of what you are providing. How would you attract customer awareness? How would you move that awareness into conversion so that the customer would consider your business? How would you move forward to having your customer being a loyal customer that continues with you? And how would you make that customer being an advocate that speaks about your business to other friends and other people in the society? Not only that, but also continue your innovation by testing, validating, and value propositioning and business modeling. So there you will continue with your innovation and you will actually pivot into what other interests and demands are coming from customers for your business.
Perfectly said. Now, this is a question which you are the very right person to answer about it. We just discussed and agreed to the fact that it's okay. I mean, idea generation is fine, but the real challenge happens when it comes to the execution. And the role of universities like us comes very handy and very useful. So, what role do incubation centers and university ecosystem plays in helping entrepreneurs refine their ideas and develop prototypes? I'm sure as an incubation manager, you're doing this day in, day out there.
That's at the heart of actually nurturing future entrepreneurs. And what we do is we mentor them. So,
Mhm.
mentorship at the heart of incubation. We guide them, we coach them, we connect them with the industry network. We give them opportunities to scale and accelerate. We give them opportunities to participate in competitions that will award them and recognize them. We also give them opportunities for investment for their business.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a basic responsibility of any incubation center or university like us to handhold, the students and get them or assist them in transforming themselves as a top class entrepreneurs of the country. Wow. Well, every individual, especially the Gen Z, if I'm talking about, comes up with a huge amount of enthusiasm and passion. But there is always a difference, I feel, between passion and practicality,
Y-
right? So, how do you think the
Yeah.
entrepreneurs should balance this passion and practicality?
Well, Professor Guru, you made a clear point there because some entrepreneurs can drift away from the success of their business if they keep on holding to the passion. Passion is important. There is no doubt about it. But passion needs to go with practicality to maintain your business continuity. And how would you do that? Through define discipline. I would say discipline, discipline, discipline 3 times, and innovativeness in terms of thinking and looking forward to what your customers always require and being ahead of the customer. And keep in mind competition. You have to keep competition in mind towards design and strategize your practicality for your business. So look forward on what can you provide better than competition? How can you be different? So differentiation, or maybe through cost effectiveness. Imagine you are opening a coffee shop and there are so many coffee shops around. How would you be different? What variety would you offer to that customer's segment? So, practicality is important in discipline, in continuous offerings, and in being also taking into consideration sustainability and how would you benefit the society in terms of sustainability and maybe have your product and services being more sustainable for the market. So take into consideration now what we have as circular economy, as we all know.
Right.
So
Mm.
materials that are very sustainable. Many coffee shops, many businesses, retail stores are considering that nowadays.
Right. You spoke about sustainability. My actual next question was from that angle, because the whole world today is talking about innovation, is talking about sustainability, right? Especially, I could see this post-COVID 2020. Most of us are now getting towards an approach of sustainable approaches, and also a lot of innovation is happening in this particular domain. So, in today's rapidly evolving environment, how can startups integrate innovation and sustainability into their business models from the very beginning?
Yes, in fact, we can see this happening a lot nowadays, and we cannot neglect it or
Yeah,
dismiss it. We have
true.
to take it into the core of the business, and especially because you being, for example, an entrepreneur or another person being a future entrepreneur that is coming on the way. So you always need to think, how can I benefit society? How can I protect the environment? So protecting the environment is very um, important. We live in a world that cares about the environment, especially with the United Nations SDG goals, having environment being number one now, and it's very important for all businesses. So you always have to connect your innovation or whatever services or offerings that you have on how can you make it very sustainable. In fact, a sustainable business or a business that considers sustainability at its core can be more sustainable at the long term with its success. So again, as I said earlier, circular economy, or for example, leveraging a material that are more protective towards the economy and avoid harming whatever manufacturing material that could harm the society and creating impact through your offerings. So that should be at the core of any business.
Absolutely. Fantastically deliberated, Dr. Khulood. Let us get into now the third important aspect of an entrepreneurial journey, which is deliver, which is more important, more challenging than the first two stages, in my viewpoints. So many believe that execution is more challenging, as I said. What separates entrepreneurs who successfully execute from those who struggle? There are numerous instances where I'm sure even you have come across where the idea has been really good, but the real problem was the execution. So, what are your views on this?
Execution and the importance of having a great strategy for your execution is when you, as an entrepreneur, be a doer and take that attitude where you support your team members and work with them, not above them. So you need to look for people that share your values, your company's values, and the culture, the environment, and people who will work with you towards the same goal, the same company's goal. And that's important because execution will not succeed and will not be a successful execution without your people. Everyone knows that any successful business relies on its people. So it's not only a person's idea, it's the team's shared values and shared beliefs, sharing the same culture, and going forward to that kind of a success.
Right, absolutely. And the next big task, which is in your hand, the moment you start talking about execution, is hiring people, having the right people in your place, which is so very challenging. So, how should entrepreneurs approach building their first team, especially when resources are very limited, get very limited? But in considering that, you need to really have the best team with you. So, what is your suggestion for the first timers, especially when they build a team with limited resources?
My suggestion is look at your business from different angles and see and think, what do you need in terms of building your team? Who do you require? And look at their skills, their competencies, and their strengths. Um, I also do this practice with my students in class so that they can consider it while building their team members, because they immediately in entrepreneurship, we develop team members to start their startups, right? It's not only one person or one team member, it's a team. So what we do is consider SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis where you look at your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats, and think of the team members as like you're analyzing their strengths, and don't look for people who have the same skills and the same competencies. It needs to be a team that has a variety of skills. For example, someone who's really good at marketing. You really need that for social media and for a person a team member that can focus on the marketing aspects of your business. You need someone who is very technical and good in using apps and ITs. And maybe you need someone who thinks strategically, and that could be the business owner himself or herself. So you need the variety of skills around you to complete each other, not just be the same all over and across the business.
Perfectly said. Now, the time has come to launch the new product to the market, right? What are the most effective strategies for launching a new product or a service and gaining the initial customer traction?
For scaling, now you move from a business owner that is only being a doer and who does everything with the team to leading. So you need to have a leadership hat to scale your business all across different regions and maybe countries, inshallah. So what you would need to do is always validate what you are providing to your customers and see how you can scale and understand other markets, study them. For example, what I offer here in Dubai could be very different than what I offer there in India, right? So I need to understand the culture there. I need to know what do they require, what different offerings can I give, uh, and connect that with also my financials, my operational system. It all goes as a complete ecosystem for my business altogether. But I really need to understand different cultures, different markets. So understanding different markets would enable scaling for the business by itself.
That's great. Perfectly put on your views, Dr. Khulood. Now it's the last stage, which is, I don't think, which is as challenging compared to the earlier stage, because if somebody has successfully reached to the level of execution, I don't think elevation would be a great challenge. The last leg, which I'm going to address to talk to you, is on the elevate, right? As a startup begins to grow, what leadership qualities become most critical for entrepreneurs to sustain momentum and scale effectively?
Of course. Okay, now this is a very challenging question that you're giving, but of course, I think it's the innovative thinking that an entrepreneur should have. Innovation. So think innovatively always and think, how can I bring benefit and value to my customers? How can I make an impact and a purpose in the society? What mark can I leave in the society? And be resilient. Do not stop. Um, Take failures as lessons learned for you to continue. Yeah, I think being resilient is the most important character that any leader of a business should have. So, as the UAE itself is a very resilient country, so any business owner needs to be very resilient, needs to take failure as lessons learned, needs to be disciplined, needs to be the person who would always motivate and encourage the team members around him or around her, um, needs to listen, uh, be a listener, and know what the customer requires. So listening is important as well.
Very true. While you're talking about the leadership quality and you being the leader also by heading the incubation cell, can I ask you this question? What is the leadership style of Dr. Khulood?
The leadership of myself is, I think it's very difficult for me to define myself, but kindness,
All right.
understanding,
Mhm.
working with people, uh, think always, how can you leave an impact? And I connect this very well with a statement that I got from one of my students. And he said, at the end of the course that I gave in entrepreneurship, he said, Dr. Khulood, you resemble your name's meaning, which is forever. So you made a forever impact on us. You helped us move from just an idea into a full concept for our business. So I think uh, leaving an impact, leave your mark, and make it memorable. So a successful business is always memorable. For example, people who go to, I think, Disney, what do
Mhm.
they remember about Disney? How does it make them feel? When you go to Armani Hotel, for example, what do you remember about it? How does it make you feel? So, a business that is successful always makes you feel good, make that memory stay in your mind and in your heart. So, it's the connection with the feeling, the mind you get. I think that's my answer.
Fantastically put. Very good. And yes, I mean, hats off to you for creating such a long-lasting impact on your students. I believe that's a very I would say the true sign of a true teacher. Great. So yes, going ahead, what are the biggest challenges you feel entrepreneurs face while scaling their ventures, and how can they prepare to overcome them? Scaling up is not as easy. You will agree to it, especially the current situation in the world, which is like volatile. Scaling up is definitely not so easy, and it comes up with its own challenges. How can they prepare to overcome them?
I, I believe that challenges always exist. Without
Mm,
challenges, then there is no purpose for you
true.
to continue, right? So you need to always look for the challenges and how you can overcome these challenges or meet them, and uh, be even on top of these challenges and what you can do towards them. So understanding your market and um, adapting to it, not only understanding it, is a trait that would always help you to overcome a challenge. So always think, how can I be better? How can I solve this problem in a better way? So when you know how to solve the problem in a better way, then you can always overcome any challenge that your business is facing.
I absolutely agree. Challenges is a part of the entrepreneurial journey, and I'm sure you should be well prepared to handle those. And yes, I mean, the past three levels of journey has given you enough experiences to face these challenges. Well, my last question, before I take up a question from the students, if you could offer one piece of advice to young entrepreneurs who aspire to build impactful business in the future, what would it be?
I would advise them to start and not wait for the perfect time, not wait for the
Absolutely.
perfect idea. Would I would want them to be observers and explorers and people who connect to society, to speak to people, speak to industry, and know how can they solve the world's challenging problems, even their own experiences. They can find out some challenges and problems where they want to make those problems become better for others. So take the action. Don't just wait for the perfect time.
Absolutely. That's done from my end. A set of questions what I wanted to post on you. I have some real good questions awaiting in the chat box from the students who I'll take on their behalf. Yes, here it is. So this is a nice question. If you were starting your entrepreneurial journey as a student, what would be the first three steps you would take and why?
Okay. If I'm starting my own entrepreneurial journey, what are the
Three
three most
steps.
important steps that I would take is
Yes.
I would think, how would I be able to create value and impact to my country's society? And what problem can I solve today? Who can support me with solving that problem? That would
Mhm.
that will be those 3 points that I would consider.
Lovely.
Where can I get support from? Yeah.
Go for the
And
next one.
I'm sure like in your region, like in our region, we have different channels that do support entrepreneurs. So here in
Okay.
the UAE, we do have different channels that do
Mhm.
support entrepreneurs. So that will be among the steps that will be considered on how to go ahead with the problem that I would like to solve for the society, and tap on the doors of these channels and see what I can do.
These channels are government backed, Dr. Kulud, or it's a private entities?
Government backed
Government
and
backed.
private entities as
Okay.
well,
Okay.
different platforms on social media.
Okay. That's great. That's great. All right. I'll take the next question. What skills should students develop now to become successful global entrepreneurs in the future?
Critical thinking.
Yeah.
Think critically. Um, Problem solvers. Be people who would think, how can I solve this problem? How can I make it better? Because when you can make a problem better, like find a solution for it, no matter how the solution can be simple, then you already have the two most important skills that any entrepreneur would have. Again, innovation, creativity is important because you can always make your offerings better by being creative.
Absolutely. Fantastic, said. Well, here's an interesting question too. You would be the right person again because this is from the specific of Dubai. Being incubation manager, what are the most common mistake first-time entrepreneurs make when launching a business in Dubai?
Um, I think the assumption of putting a solution that they think the customer would need. Then they would be like, oops, I did something wrong. And this is not exactly what my customer segment requires. I need to refine my offerings to meet the customer demand. So maybe you think you're so passionate, you love your idea, you go forward with it, and then you give something that is not actually needed, and then you lost some part of your investment there. And you need to refine your product or service according to what the customer requires. So you redo it from the beginning and you go to the cycle from scratch, which is not wrong at all. You actually learned from the failure you did and you are refining again.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, as I said, entrepreneurial journey is all about ups and downs. I mean, no failure should stop you. The thing should move
Yeah.
on. Great. I have take the next question. What are the biggest obstacles people face between dreaming and delivering?
Dream is always something fantastic, and it's your passion that drives you, and you're so passionate, and you start all over and you do your business plan, maybe, but then you're missing out the practical part of it, the reality. So you need to know what market realities exist. Um, what does the market require? For example, if I go to Ajmal perfume, which is from a lot of the perfume and that industry that exists in India, for example, right? Who are the competition there? So am I actually considering competition as well? So you can be passionate, you can dream, but you need to look at practicality. Who are my competitors? How am I evaluating all this? What do the customers actually require? How can I create value? So it's all a connection.
It's all a connection. True. There's a typical student question, interesting question. I would love to know your views on it. A student is doing his MBA. So his question is, after completing my MBA, do you think I should work for a couple of years and then get into my entrepreneurial journey, or can I start it immediately after my MBA?
Well, congratulations to the student. I salute you for taking the MBA journey, and that goes with the lifelong learning of any individual. Um, I really say that that's a big step that you're taking, and I salute you for that step. But to answer your question, I think you can do both. And what could stop you to do both, right? So if you do both, if you work at a place, then you're gaining stability of income. And if you're starting a business, then you are actually going forward with any passion or solving a problem and helping society as well. So you can always do both. And there is no limit to a person's capability. I take it from my own experience. I've been working and studying for my master's and then for my PhD. And I'm also an entrepreneur that is doing my business as well. I do have a small business that I am running and I'm starting. So you can do so many things at the same time. You can't imagine the capacity of a person unless you start it, unless you go for it.
That's great. Well, this is a question from my side. Fundraising is one of the challenge that the young entrepreneur space in India. How's that in UAE? Of course, in India, government, as I said, do have a lot of funds or a budget sanctioned towards these particular activities. But then, yes, the volume is huge. I mean, we are a huge populated country, so at times grabbing all the schemes is always difficult. As I say, the fundraising is quite a challenge in India. How is that in the UAE?
Okay, that's something at the heart of future entrepreneurs, and they really need support with it, and I totally understand it. And in fact, with the India's population, I would say, even if it does exist, and considering the size of the population, that by itself creates more competition among them. And you always want to have the best of the best of entrepreneurs, right? So despite the population, the competition is there and they need to move forward to seeking investment. How would you seek the best investment for your startup? You need to imagine that you are pitching to investors, right? So how would investors be very convinced with your business? So you need to convince them, why should they invest? What are they getting out of it? How much stake of investment are they investing? So all these aspects need to be considered. And how is it here in the UAE? There is competition. There are many competition platforms. The competition is also high because investment is taken very seriously in terms of the different domains of investment, the different sectors. Is it in the technology sector or the manufacturing sector or the agriculture sector? There are many sectors that would benefit from the amazing ideas and startups that are coming up from students, different universities and different schools. So investment is available, but convincement of why they should invest is also more important.
Absolutely. How about the government support in the UAE? Do they support the startups and the ecosystem in UAE?
Absolutely. We have the Ministry of Economy and Investment, and we have among our government different platforms that do support investment in startups. So that is available in a wider spectrum, I would say.
That's great. Well, we all know Dubai has a rich depository of oil reserves. Apart from, the oil industry, what are the booming industries in Dubai at present?
We all know that one of the booming industries are the real estate.
Okay. Yes, I
And
agree.
I would also say financial technology, the fintech,
Okay.
the edutech,
Mhm.
education technology, sustainability. There's a big focus on sustainability and circular economy that has been announced by our leadership. So these are the industries that have wider focus nowadays. And AI. We are always focused on agentic AI and
Mhm.
AI at the heart of startups now.
Great. And I think there has been a great amount of foreign investments also in Dubai and UAE as a whole. UAE attracts foreign investments also in these sectors.
Of course, we do take foreign investment, and there is a great focus on foreign investment and international markets. And we are very much, our leadership is very much connected with the Indian market and different regions as well, such as Russia and such as um, Kazakhstan and different markets. And so foreign investment is important because we live in a world that is connected, and we do believe that uh, having entrepreneurship that is at the heart of market connection is very important.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it won't succeed.
Very true. Very true. I mean, yes, Dubai as a whole, or UAE as a whole itself, is an inspiration to many of the countries. The way Dubai has transformed itself in the last couple of decades is exemplary. Undoubtedly, it can be benchmarked by many of the countries, the way they have transformed. No doubt about it. Well, I ask you this last question for the day. Where do you see UAE 10 years down the line?
That's a big question that is so difficult for me to answer, but I always see Dubai being the heart of the world. I would say the heart of the world, where we bring the world to us. So through connection, through
Mhm.
international markets, we bring investment, we bring entrepreneurship to
Absolutely. I mean,
Dubai.
that's indeed visionary. I heard a similar statement being made by Your Excellency once. I'm sure he will be able to succeed with the kind of support that he's getting from the citizens of UAE as a whole. It was
And we
indeed.
want Dubai to be the number one for entrepreneurship. So we welcome you to be connected with us here in Dubai as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Undoubtedly, yes. Well, for the students out here, I would also love to make the statement. We are exploring possible collaboration with Dr. Khulood also. And I'm all excited to host you in my campus once, Dr. Khulood, where you can have an
Yeah.
in-person interaction with my students, with my budding entrepreneurs, and we can share and exchange ideas.
And I also invite you to come to Canadian University Dubai. That is an avant-garde university here in Dubai, and we
Mhm.
take entrepreneurship at the core of our university strategy, and we work towards that. So we also welcome the collaboration between both universities.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really look forward to it. And if we plan something on the immersion program, I would love to get my students to your institute where they can possibly get the hands-on experience and the way you have been running entrepreneurial models, or modules in your institute. We would be happy to learn and incorporate something of that sort in GIBS as well. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Khulood. It was fantastic interacting with you for the short interaction for the 1 hour. I'm sure there was a lot of impact and a lot of takeaways for my students. Not just my students, there are also students from the different institutes who are watching us. And I'm pleased to say this also will be uploaded in our official YouTube channel of GIBS Business School. Because as a business school, as an education institute, we believe in the statement that sharing is caring. The knowledge has to be shared. Our interaction today will be viewed by millions of people in the coming days. And even if a marginal population of that gets impacted from this, I think our objective is fully met. So thank you so much on behalf of all the audience present here. I would extend my heartfelt thanks to you, Dr. Khulood, for your time and for the wonderful interaction that we had. And also, I thank all the audiences who have been here for this session. I thank them as well. And as I said, I indeed look forward to hosting you in my campus one day or meeting you in your campus very soon. I really look forward to the further strong collaborations ahead. Thank you so much, Dr. Khulood. It was a pleasure hosting you. This is Professor Guru Prasad signing off. Thank you so much.
Thank you for hosting me. It was my honor to be with you. I really thank you from deep my heart. And the UAE, Canadian University, Dubai will be having a great privilege of welcoming you and collaborating with you. Thank you
Uh,
so much.
we look forward. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.